evening, everybody, and welcome back to a fun-filled, tired episode. God damn, how much wrestling can somebody watch in a week? To WrestleZone Unfiltered, episode number 42. We are approaching 50, and as usual, all the way from up north. I think he might still be stuck in the snow. I ain't sure. Paul, how you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, it's like 3 degrees today, so everything's wet.
Fucking shit, 3 degrees.
It was 60 here today, man.
So
keep
with
that
our
shit up there, dog.
foot of snow up on the ground is now just water everywhere. It's not good.
Well, always good to have you, sir, with me. And we have got Death Matty. Death Matty. Daniels. I've said it out right. Triple D. We'll just call it Triple D. There we go. Jessie Daniels back in the house. Provide us an update on your health, man. How are you doing?
Well, as of a few weeks ago, I made my return at Underground Sports Entertainment on December 20th. I had to step up and give Vivian Juro a proper send-off before she takes the big leap going out to Nashville next month. So, yeah, I've already had my first match back. I had been medically cleared to go again. And, yeah, January 17th. In Pennsylvania, I'm coming to whoop Chando's ass. This will be his first match back since he went on this fucking big 3-week Japanese tour. And I think what I'd like to do is tape a whole bunch of glass to the back of my hands and have a Taipei death match with this motherfucker. That's what I think I want to do.
Now, is that the one that injures you or no?
Well, they all injure you. They all suck.
Degrees that,
you ever see like ECW in the old 90s? The Rottens had the first Taipei death match in ECW where they put a bunch of fucking tape on their hands and then tape glass, like broken bottle glass, to the back of their hands, and that was the gimmick of the match. And I'm like, fuck, I've never done one of those. I want to do one.
Well, let me rephrase. Was that the one that had you reconsidering life choices for the last couple of months?
No, that was a gauntlet match. That was a fucking pile driver, was what that was. That was a pile driver from the Necro Butcher that I guess I did not post myself properly for. But as it sits, I've been home. I've seen a physical therapist. I've seen my doctor at home. When it I said this on the podcast that I did the other night, but basically when everything happened, what I deduced it down to was it was a stinger. Because for a few minutes, I couldn't feel nothing. I couldn't move. After he hit me with the pile driver, I was like, fuck, this is not good. So I told the ref to throw up the X. They got me back, set me against the wall. And after about, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes against that wall, I was like, I had movement in my hands. I just couldn't feel my legs. So I started drinking a beer. Slowly, more came back to me. They put a camera in my face while I was bloody as hell. And I cut this drunk promo that I don't remember nothing about. And, at some point during the promo, I took my boots off and stood up and crawled my way back inside. But, I just felt like an irritating pain in my neck for the rest of the night. So we went, back to the B&B and all that shit. And I decided, like, hey, this is probably not good. I probably need to go get seen. And that was where that initial x-ray that I posted came from. And that was like, finding that out was like, fuck, man. When you find out you broke your neck. But ultimately, I think whatever hairline fracture, whatever the fuck it was, I just must have superhuman fucking healing. I don't know. But I came home. I basically, didn't do too much physical stuff. I don't work a very physical job. I mean, I fucking pretty much trade crypto. So, like, I can do that on my phone, tablet, whatever. And, dude, I just rested up for about a month and then got back in the gym and started doing light workouts, and then went to go see another doctor who did a second x-ray on my neck. And then they were like, yeah, I can't even tell that it was ever broken. And I'm like, huh? Okay, well, that's fucking weird. And it's like, this is like a month and a half later, bro. A month and a half later. So I don't take steroids. I don't take any kind of performance enhancers. So I have no logical scientific explanation for this other than it was not my fucking time yet. So I'm going to keep going.
I can tell you what happened. Would you like to know what happened? Would you like to hear the Oracle's insight on how you healed so quickly?
Yeah, I'd love to.
your neck heard Jasmine St. Clair call you a little bitch.
Oh, fuck, man.
And he said, I ain't going out that way. No.
Yo, bro,
Are
you
we,
should
are we
probably
gonna
get up
are we gonna
and
talk about that? Are we gonna talk about Jasmine?
I'm telling you, that's what your neck said, bro. Your neck was on Twitter while you were sleeping one night, and the rest, I guess they say, is history.
Yeah, well, I'll say this because I don't believe in shitting on people and trying to hurt their work or hurt anything to do with them. But Jasmine St. Clair and Necro Butcher during the interaction for the match were nothing but professional with me. Necro Butcher was nothing but safe and professional to work with. He was nobody should lose work over a fucking accident. If that were the case, there's not a wrestler alive that hasn't been in a match with somebody that hasn't accidentally hurt themselves. There's not a fucking wrestler alive. So at the end of the day, nobody needs to lose any work over this. I know Jasmine had some things that she said about it, and she had her opinions that she went very vocal about, and that's okay. She's allowed to have those. But we just saw very differently about that situation, and that is what it is, there's no heat on my end with Jasmine St. Clair. But how she feels, I can't control that.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man. No, and to go back to your point, anybody's been a wrestling fan for a long period of time will remember when D'Lo, he did the sky high on draws and it paralyzed him, and he come out and he said and Jim Ross has actually told the same story that D'Lo was going to retire. D'Lo did not want to step back in the ring, and JR was like, everybody loves you. They know it was an accident, and do you want that one moment to take away 2 careers instead of 1? And D'Lo eventually, he got back in the ring. And he's still doing stuff to this day. And no, I mean, you get in the ring. I mean, people, the chance you take. I mean, it's a difference of excuse my language, but a cunt hair away from,
Hey,
I wish I was more educated.
This is the WrestleZone Unfiltered, so we
wish I was more educated in normal sports, but I swear this happens in hockey and basketball and football and rugby. Like, everybody's good, and then just one slip up, bam, neck injury. This guy's out for a while. It's like, it just happens. I hate that it's a thing, but unfortunately,
my thing about it is, right, people need to be reminded sometimes how dangerous this shit is. Like, you don't necessarily, that match with Necro Butcher, the only fucking weapons that either one of us used is he had a pencil in his boot and I picked up a chair from somebody out of the crowd. We didn't come out there with no 20,000 fucking light tubes or the ring wrapped in barbed wire and none of that crazy shit. And you don't need all of that to get hurt. You know what I mean? And so, like, if anything, I'm glad everything happened the way it did, because people need a reminder of how dangerous what we do really is.
If anybody saw Monday Night Raw, and it was a horrible episode, in my opinion, but that's a different story for a different day. There was a spot with CM Punk and Braun Breaker. Now, I am not privy to. I mean, I've been watching it a while, but I don't know the ins and outs of certain things, so I can't tell you who was at fault on the spot. But Braun went for the top rope Frankensteiner and fell right on his neck. I mean, and that if he'd have fell probably one way or the other, a hairline inch, that could have been really bad.
Yeah, that's a dangerous fucking move, bro. I didn't even see the spot you're talking about, but just wow,
I will say, what if you saw it? What you would say is Braun's too big to be doing that, because he was standing on the turnbuckle. Both of them. Like, that's worse than standing on the middle sort of turnbuckle. And then,
well, long story short,
I've seen him pull it off before, but it's always been sketchy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, at most time he does pull it off, and how pretty it is a different story. But he always normally pulls it off, and he went to do it, and I don't know if it was his fault or Punk's, but Punk didn't move, and he fell flat on his neck, on his head, down to the canvas. And like I said, it did. If he could have fell, depending on. You can slow it down and see exactly where he lands, but I mean, an inch one way or the other could have been, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, like, the shit's not ballet, just because it's worked or whatever doesn't mean it's any less unsafe for human bodies to be doing.
Correctly, there's more than one wrestler who's been retired just simply off a bump. Because I want to say the British Bulldog, that was a trapdoor, but that was just a bump. That wasn't like a big bump. That wasn't a spot. Like that was just shoulder tackle. Boom. That's it. My career's done. Basically, I want to say there's a couple more that they just took a weird bump. Like what was Mr. Wonderful's thing? I want to say that was something small and it just did a nerve in and
I'm not sure.
Shoulder. I want to say there's more than one example of just a simple kind of I took a simple back bump and pop. There goes.
Yeah, see, I don't know what ended Orndorff's career, but I know how he played it off and did it on TV and came out and let Arn Anderson and I think it was Chris Benoit.
He just had atrophy to his arm, right?
Yeah, but he come out because his finish was always the pile driver, and he come out and wanted to take that one last bump and give Arn, and like I said again, I think it was Benoit, it might have been somebody else, but they did the spike pile driver to him on the floor, so that's what they said ended his career. But it was done. But Paul being the man he was, he wanted to come out and do it on TV. He didn't want to just walk away.
You guys remember? I feel bad for not remembering his name. There was a guy in Mexico who's wrestling Ray.
Right.
He passed away in the ring
from the 619. Yep.
And I want to say there was no like harsh bump. It might have just been like a simple setup, but the way that he got hit, I guess his heart reacted, and like the point I'm trying to make is he wasn't doing dives, he wasn't doing scaffold matches, he wasn't
nothing
doing
crazy that looked
the
dangerous.
Simplest of things, just bam, you land weird. Oh, that's it. I'm done. I'm toast.
Well, it's like we've talked about before, Jesse. I don't know if you were here or not, but I said I told Paul before, the word that I hate the most in the wrestling business is botch. Simply because if you watch the outtakes on a movie, take 1, take 5, take 20, take 30.
Yeah, you don't call those botches.
You guys get, they call it outtakes or funny moments, whatever they want to call them. You guys got one shot to do what you're doing. And, whether it's on TV or whether it's not, I mean, it's one, Punk and Breaker were live. And, if that'd been the old days and that had been a taped house show or a tape, superstars or something, Vince wasn't Paul Heyman. He would have had it edited out, but, Paul had the foresight to leave that stuff in when it happened because shit happens. And, like I said, I hate it because, again, the guys and girls are going out there giving their bodies, putting their bodies on the line every time they step in the ring. And, then you got stupid ass people and, oh, look at that botch. He sucks. Man, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's always people that have like never been put in a ring or been put in that position before that favor terminology like that so much. You know what I mean? Or jobber, another one like people love to throw the term jobber around. It's actually something a lot of guys get like really offended about because it's like, oh, just because I'm fucking, to me, I feel like, okay, to me, I feel like a jobber is somebody that is like, they're just because of their character and or poor work ethic and or just bad luck of the cards or where they're working, they're just destined to lose over and over. You know what I mean? So, but everybody's got to lose sometimes. Like it's the fucking, it's wrestling, bro.
And some people are great at losing. Like if you look at Brooklyn Brawler and certain people that were known to be jobbers, they were great at it. You could put them out any night, have a great match, off to the races.
And yeah, that's the thing, dude.
Those guys back in the day, man. I mean, they weren't making, Flair Hogan money.
Barry Horowitz?
Yeah, but I mean, those type of guys, and yeah, we interviewed Barry Horowitz on here, and a lot of those guys were put out there to, I mean, Barry actually said he had to wrestle Warrior so many flipping times he couldn't stand it because, nobody liked working with a Warrior, but they kept putting him out there to enhance him and, kind of teach him stuff. So those guys were not, a lot of those guys back in the day, they didn't have the charisma to be on TV per se, but they were good at their craft and they made a good living doing what they did. So, call them enhancement talents, call them jobbers, what you will. But I mean, especially back in the, the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s, if you watch those matches, those guys were pretty high up as far as wrestling ability on the card.
Is it just me or jobber is still better than local talent? Because local talent was always, why is that guy wearing pajama pants? Why is that person wearing a circus tent? Those were always the people on WCW that you'd kind of make fun of. But like a jobber was the 1, 2, 3 kid. Like a jobber is a consistent person we're going to have on TV. But yeah, when they had, some of these guys that you swear they just got out of the bar, go put on your jeans, go put on your leather pants, get in the ring. You're going to get your ass kicked by Hawk for 2 minutes. Okay.
Hey man,
And I mean, Hawk would
They-
beat
they-
his fucking ass too,
Yep.
boy. I mean, like,
And he would get his $100 and he'd go back to the bar and he'd have a story to tell.
uh-huh.
Yeah, there was that stories over the years where Animal was saying, he's like, yeah, I'd be in the corner. It looked like we were talking shit. And I'm telling him, dude, relax. You're going to kill somebody. So he's got, you said January 17th is when you're coming back, right? Your next match?
Yeah, so my next match is January 17th. It's in Pennsylvania for X Brand Wrestling at this it's somewhere in a cave. That is as far as I know. We're having an underground no ring wrestling show in this cave, and they have decided to give me what I wanted, and what I wanted was Jimmy Chando fresh back from Japan.
And Paul, when did you say your next match is coming?
Oh, in February. So it's much further away.
We need to get y'all to meet in the middle, and so I can come be in the audience, see the death match happen.
Oh, I'm with it. I'll pop Paul's deathmatch cherry.
We'll both
I'm actually
drive to
looking
the
into going up
corner
to
and
Canada sometime this year.
Well, if you are, let me know. Like, I'm not into everyone, but I can at least get your foot in the door for a handful of companies.
For sure. Good stuff. Yeah, there's a hardcore promotion up there that my buddy from New York works for, and they wanna bring us up there to do some Canadian deathmatch shit. So that'd be pretty cool. I just got to get a passport, you know.
It's
Is there-
really, really active up here. That's the one thing I'll say.
I was gonna say, is there a difference between our death matches and the Canadian death matches?
So you got a different subset of rules? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I hear like they have like limited access to certain kinds of light tubes up there. Like in the UK, for example, they can only get the T8s, the real little skinny ones. And those motherfuckers are dangerous because that's what cut Nick Gage open real bad, I think, at Tournament of Death that one year. But like, yeah, that's the biggest difference.
Are not
I know.
really a thing up here. So I don't know if you guys like tables are expensive now. So I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but doors are mostly the thing everybody's using. I don't know how I feel about it, but like I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I don't know if it translates fully, but yeah, the light
Doors
tube
or
might
plywood.
be real. We're not too light tubey up here.
Yeah, doors or plywood is usually what I see people use down here. A lot of times when we're on the way to a show, if we want to just put somebody through something, we get a piece of plywood, staple some barbed wire to it.
yeah, I haven't seen the door yet, so I have to look for that one.
I will say it has a satisfying crunch as you go through it.
It does.
It's just you're carrying a door. Yeah, like a table, the logic of it being there makes sense. You know, there's announcers, there's all this stuff. Okay, I understand. A chair, there's fans. Okay, I get it. But now it's like, now as a fan, you're making me go, where'd you get that door from?
I watched this.
I mean?
I watched this one guy like they put this dude through a door and then ripped the fucking door in half, and each of them were holding a piece of it, and they were just smashing it on each other's fucking heads until the door turned into splinters.
The only acceptable use of a door I've seen so far is, you ever seen that mystery wrestling? The Evil Uno does it up here in Canada. They do the Eddie Guerrero spot where he hits the chair on the mat, the ref's down, hits the chair on the mat, throws it down, takes a bump. Haha. The guy standing looks at the door, looks back at the ref, and just dives through the door himself. So as the ref stands up, he sees guy through a door, guy with a chair. Oh, I wonder what happened. You must have thrown the guy through the door. Perfect storytelling.
That's
like,
beautiful.
I don't know if it would have worked with a table. It might have been too, you know what I mean? Like, okay,
yeah.
that one I'll accept. That one was clever.
I'd like to see somebody like actually do a spot where they're using the door to like, you know, like as a shield, and they're kind of ring around the rosy, and it would.
I was just thinking of that. If you shoot me off the ropes and put the door in the middle of the ring, would I have to like stop and then like
open the door to
knock
walk through and
on
get
the
to other
door?
rope?
And you like we have to Three Stooges it, where you have to open the door, hit me, close the door, and
the
I
ref's just holding the door.
and now we just full panto.
Ooh.
You
Yeah,
open the
boy.
door, hit me. I can't hit you back because the door's closed. Ah, my hand. The logic makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense for the moment.
One day we'll make it happen. One day.
There, we got a match planned out right there.
I'm kind of picturing it in my head, like, okay.
Have you ever
And
seen a
not do-
Groucho Marx skit? This is basically what's going to happen.
Well, real quick, did you just see that spot with CM Punk and Braun, Paul, or did you see the actual match?
I just saw the clip.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you what happened, not just the spot. We talked about the spot. Of course, the Vision come down, they interfere, and here come the three amigos of Ray, Dragon Lee, and Penta to run them
three
off.
amigos.
And which is fine. And I didn't have an issue with CM Punk retaining, but I thought they made Braun Breaker look weak because he wound up, he wound up getting pinned. I mean, he did kick out of one GTS, but he wound up getting pinned by the GTS. And I had no issue with Punk winning, but the Braun kind of laid down flat. You know how I feel about that because we know they're not done with it. And, to me, I was like, okay, let Punk retain, let Braun win the Royal Rumble, and then, go on to WrestleMania to redeem that. But then he laid down flat. And I'm just like, okay, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it again. What's your thoughts?
Like, how is this guy, like, I don't know. I get confused sometimes because you see someone like Braun Breaker and you're just like, why is he not getting the Bob Holly treatment? Do you ever remember that Bob Holly story when they asked him, hey, Bob, do you have any plans? And he's like, yeah, I want to win the belt. And they're like, okay, what after? And then he's like, then I beat everyone. That was his whole plan. Braun Breaker, come on, can this guy have the Kenny belt collector? I don't know. Just for me, it's just not sitting right. Like, he looks great, kind of. I don't like the spray tan, but I feel like it's similar to what's happening in other countries where they just don't want to pull the trigger just yet.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
like,
he's a little too. For me personally, I think he's a little too like. I don't know. I don't see much more personality coming out of him.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Fair question. What
he's got
is
more than his daddy,
gimmick?
but not as much as his uncle.
Right. Like, I just don't know if he's got the gift of gab that Scott Steiner did. You know what I mean?
No. A lot of people don't. I mean, it's a math problem we're yet to solve.
I don't think Scott had a gift at gab. I think his confidence was just at a 12. Like he could just say anything and it would make sense because he's so passionate about what he's saying.
What he had was 133% chance of winning a sacrifice.
You know what I mean? I just think he just didn't care about what he said. He just could, like, he's like Warrior. He could just say anything and you'd go, yeah. What about the gasoline in the rocket ships?
Yeah, those Warrior promos from back in the day, those like, what medicine do you need to be on? But yeah, one of the shows that I did the ring announcing for, this has been years ago. It was after WCW closed, but I met Scott. I mean, he seemed nice enough, but they used to introduce him at 6'2" or 6'3", 285, 75 pounds. And don't get me wrong, the son of a bitch is 5 foot wide, but he was 5'10" at most. Because I mean, I'm 6'1.5", and I looked at him.
How about Scott Hall?
I'm like 6'2", 6'3", my fucking ass.
No, Scott Hall, I think was legitimately tall. I think Scott Steiner, yeah.
Scott Steiner.
Now, is his later
Scott Steiner?
Yeah.
Because didn't he have a back problem? Doesn't that make you shorter?
I know I heard a few times that people said that he would get out of the car moving like he was 95 years old, and how he got in the ring and wrestled, they were not sure of.
If I remember correctly, one of the reasons that Mick Foley kept doing the DDP yoga is because he got taller doing it. Like, he's just stretching his back out. And he's like, I was 6'2" again. I'll never quit doing yoga. So I imagine if your spine's compressed, you're going to lose like a little bit of height.
You're not going to lose 5 inches, bro.
I don't know. Young Scott Steiner looked humongous. So I don't know. If
he was still 5 foot wide. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was still, jacked, but like I said, I'm looking down at him going 6'2", my ass. So, But there's a lot of them that I've met over the years, like Ole Anderson. I met him at one of the damn conventions years ago, and I couldn't tell you how tall he was, but those inside thoughts you should keep instead of letting them out. I'm sitting there, and I didn't realize I did, but I didn't. I didn't realize I was close enough that he could hear me. But I looked at my buddy I was with. I said, "Damn, he looked a lot bigger on TV when I was a kid."
Oh fuck!
Because I was about this much taller than he was, and at that time wider. Because Ole, he quit working out, whatever. He just looked like a middle of the old age man, and
just a normal dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, he looked so much bigger when I was a kid.
Wow.
Like now, meet Leo Rush and go, oh, you guys used
to be big. Leo.
You guys used to be bigger when I was a kid. I love Leo Rush. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, but there is that kind of like, you are little even for a junior.
Well, I've never met him, but just everything I've read online, that's a weird dude, man.
Yes.
He's like a little shorter than me. I was I was around him at AEW one time when I was working backstage, but I don't know, Leo's pretty cool. People give him a lot of shit for his attitude. He's a very high energy person, but I never had a bad experience meeting him the couple times I met him on the indies.
I just sort of like him in the ring because he's different. You see all these massive people, and then you just see this little guy all of a sudden. Who's this guy?
Yeah, he came to AEW. I remember when he left. I don't remember the exact circumstances. But they were like, he'll never be back. And then Tony brings him back, and I know he's teaming with. I
hear he's a cocky little prick.
I forgot who. What was that guy that Action Andretti? That guy that Chris Jericho brought in from Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's the last few times I've seen him on TV, he's been teaming with Action Andretti, but I hadn't seen either one of them in ages. So
I think they're on Ring of Honor now. I think that's where they keep most of those guys.
So did Jesse? Did you catch any Wrestle Kingdom?
No, I did not. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's usually hard for me to keep up on pay-per-views and stuff like that. Like I'll watch the big few throughout the year, like Royal Rumble and but I watch more indie shit than anything, to be honest. And that's probably I don't know, that might set me back a little bit as far as what I should be studying. But I like Japanese wrestling and shit, man. I watch a lot of I've been watching some stuff from Russia. I watch a lot of death matches, to be completely honest. JCW is the one thing that I keep up with the most, honestly, because it's free on YouTube like every few days.
What do you think about Vince Russo being there?
Oh, fucking hey, I love it. I love it. I love what they're doing, honestly, with JCW right now. Like, when I was a kid growing up, I never imagined it would be the product that it is now.
Could you elaborate on what you mean? Like, I don't know the product, so you could let me in on what you're enjoying so far about the product.
Okay. So when I was a kid, right? My first JCW tape that I saw was JCW Volume 3. And all I knew at the time was ICP had this beef with Eminem, right? So the main event to this JCW Volume 3 was Jay and Shaggy versus Kid Cock and Feminem, right? And it was these two wrestlers that they dressed up like Kid Rock and Eminem and beat the shit out of them. And then like Shane Douglas comes out at the end with like brass knuckles, and then the whole like ICP's whole record label comes out and chases them off, and it's big feel good moment. And I was like, oh fuck, like that was the first time I think I identified honestly with what pro wrestling was and how it's supposed to make you feel. Like that feeling of excitement when like the baby face is getting beat up and then the good guys run out to save him and shit, like
I want to see what you're saying feels what I loved about like Nitro when they had the big wars. Because one fight would turn into a bigger fight, and all of a sudden 20 guys are running down, and you're just like, what the hell is going on right now? This is madness.
And so like the product that they have now, though, like before it was very centered around like you could obviously tell who the shitty jobber gimmick was. It was rather predictable indie wrestling, right? And now like the guys that they got in there, man, fucking Matt Cardona, just some of the talent pool that they pulled from. Fucking Haley J is awesome.
Now she was the one that was on that OVW Netflix show, right?
Yeah, the fucking the ghetto white girl, you know,
Yeah.
Hollywood Haley J. She's fucking awesome. Alice Crowley's really good. Sam Stackhouse comes through there to do like a tag team with Congo Kong, but he's Mr. Happy. Drake Younger comes through there and does Mr. 50s, where he like paints his face silver and like has a big cigar and shit. There's so many gimmicks that you wouldn't really see on national TV, but you get to see him there. Kerry Morton. Kerry Morton is my fucking favorite in JCW because he's just goddamn, just classic good. They don't make him like that anymore, dog. They don't make him like Kerry Morton no more.
I didn't realize he was there. Every time I see clips of him, it's from the NWA.
Yeah, he's in this group called the Southern Six or whatever, and they have the most annoying entrance music ever. It's like, so JCW has this bad problem where half their entrance songs are made with AI. So like AI is really lazy about how they make songs, right? If you've ever played around with any of these music programs like Suno or whatever, like the Southern Six theme music is literally just a country song that says over and over, Southern Six, and it just says it in different, it just says that over and over for 3 minutes in different like vocal octaves.
Southern Six, Southern Six,
And
Southern Six.
it's the whole fucking song, and that's Kerry Morton's entrance music, and people fucking hate it. Like they're throwing empty Faygo bottles and hot dogs, whatever trash they can throw at Kerry Morton is getting beamed at him, and it's fucking great.
I feel like that would work only for like if you just did that with one person, that'd be fantastic. But if it's like everybody's getting annoying AI music, like you kind of killing it.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. They're
because if that's your gimmick to
with
be
it,
annoying,
for sure.
That's perfect. You know what I mean?
Not everybody can be the greatest wrestling faction of all time, as well as have the greatest theme song of all time, which would have been Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks with Rap is Crap.
Oh, I remember hearing that song was actually played on the radio at the time, and I thought, I don't think that's ever happened with wrestling's music ever.
Well, the thing with that is, I don't know if he was doing it just to be funny or if he was just really that bad at it. But they, when they did it live on Nitro and they're like focusing in on Kurt Hennig and his lip sync is just way off.
He's so bad at it.
Are you really that bad at lip syncing, man, or are you just doing it to fuck with the audience? But
you wrote the fucking words, bro.
I think that might be a joke because I feel like there's a lot of jokes about, a performer was told that you're going to lip sync and they didn't want to lip sync. So they totally took the piss. Because I want to say there's this old band that they were performing and the lead singer was eating a banana as she was singing the song on the show. So they might have just been like full piss take. We're not taking this serious at all.
I look at the lip syncing thing like this, and this is from somebody that used to rap and make music. I mean, I still do, but like it's not like my prevalent primary thing that I do anymore. But back in the day, right, when we would get booked on some of these hip hop shows, you would get like there would be guys that would judge you if you'd go up there to do your 10-minute set or whatever, and you didn't have an all instrumental set. Like they wanted to hear you rap over your shit, and like the most you could get away with was a show track where you had like the chorus still in there for like, breaths and vocal support.
Yeah.
But I was always one of these guys where I would just take my mastered song and build my set with my songs with the vocals still in them and just make sure I was loud enough that you could hear, that you could fucking hear me. So I feel like there's a difference in like lip syncing, and just fucking going up there not making any sound, you know what I mean? And like actually performing. But I believe you can still perform with a vocal track in the background. You gotta fucking know the words to your song. It's there to help you if you fuck up, and give the people the experience of what they're paying for, but you're still supposed to try.
Well, anytime they made Jeff Jarrett do that with my baby tonight, he had that lip sync down pat. I don't know if
Lemmy lip sync. Do you think they did that, or did Lemmy just go, shut up, fuck you, get out?
Well, off wrestling topic, but one of the years, probably been 20 years ago now, if not longer, but Alan Jackson was playing at one of the Country Music Award shows, and they just wanted him to sing over top of the tape. and he got pissed off because his band was there. They wanted to play, and they're like, "No, this is how we do it." So if you ever watch the video, the drummer is back there with no sticks. He's just doing that. That was their way of going, because they were mad. I mean, Alan Jackson's like, "No, my band is going to play. This is what we do," and they're like, "No, you're going to do it this way." And so he was a little pissed off, and that was their big FU to whatever country music award show that was. Yeah, they zoomed in on the drummer like the first time, and I guess they went back to double check the second time, and you just see him back there with his hands, no sticks in his hands. It's like,
where were you when the sticks stopped coming on that award show day?
It was great. All right, let's go over this Wrestle Kingdom card, Paul.
All right.
On the show, we'll just get you real quick. You saw Tanahashi's last match with Kuchi Okada, and you saw the death of the Bullet Club.
It's like technically the death of the Bullet Club was on New Year's Dash. For those unfamiliar, that's like the Raw after WrestleMania. So there's always probably like something goofy or weird, but yeah, the major points to come home from Wrestle Kingdom is Yota Tsuji. They finally pulled the trigger, and someone, one of the young guys, were putting the belt on him finally. And yeah, Tanahashi's retirement blew Cena's out of the water. I know it's Japan and they're very good at ceremony, but they had a 33-minute match that was legitimately very good. Like by the end, I was like, Tanahashi's got to win. Like I know he's gonna lose, but in my heart of hearts, I was like, he's got to win. And they built it where it was believable. But yeah, seeing everybody come out, Kenny and Kota Ibushi came out, Will Ospreay came out, all these people. It's like flowers from everyone. Yeah, really kind of seeing Cena's and the Tanahashi side by side is crazy interesting. But yeah, I think the point that everybody's really on about now is the Bullet Club is dead, and it died with a whimper behind the shed. There was no ceremony. It's just, okay, we don't know this for sure because I believe only one part of the faction has kind of made this new faction. So I don't know if there's a couple stragglers off in the ether, but yeah, after how many years? 20 years?
Almost, yeah, right at.
Through 5 or 6 leaders, how many different iterations? The Bullet Club is finally. I feel like we could do a whole documentary on the Bullet Club. Like, there's a lot to go through. So the fact that they just sort of shrugged and went, I don't even know the new faction name, to be honest. So I feel bad. But yeah, it was a shell of its former self. Might as well stick with some young blood.
I've noticed, the thing, and you watch this to keep up with it more than I do, but the thing I've noticed from like the Japanese standpoint of retirement matches versus what we get over here is over here they kind of, they focused it on Cena and let him smile and all that stuff. But the last time I thought they did a retirement the correct way here was Ric Flair's match. And then the following Monday Night Raw. Everything else.
What's funny is as I'm watching Tanahashi and Okada, I was like, this is their I'm sorry, I love you moment. Like beautifully orchestrated.
And as much as I love Flair, I said this motherfucker's going to get back in the ring and ruin all this. And it wasn't the match. It was the following night, everything they did for him that Monday Night Raw. All the people they brought in that didn't work for the company and just everything they did. Everybody's pretty familiar with it if they watch wrestling. They gave him a bigger send-off than they gave any of their homegrown WWF talent, WWF, WWE talents. I mean, The Undertaker didn't get that. Shawn Michaels didn't get it. I know Triple H is a little different, but he didn't get that kind of stuff. I mean, Cena damn sure didn't get it. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, he lost the match. Tanahashi lost the match, and then you saw the show of respect, the flowers, and everything else he got. And there was a few people in the WWE that wanted to be there, and were told no.
To put this into scale, I believe the last hour of the show was after the main event had finished. They put Tana. Do you guys remember the WrestleMania 3, I think it was, where they had the wrestlers come out on those little carts?
Yep.
And they had Tana get on one of those and drive around the arena, the outside to win. Like, it felt like presidential. Like, it felt like a pope. You know what I mean? Like it was so different than the way they had presented Cena in his sort of final match. Why did they do it on Saturday Night Main Event? Like, I feel like that's a huge miscall now that we're, hindsight.
Yeah, but and that would be something. And like I said, I have not listened to the full entire Cody Cena interview, and I want to, because of the few clips with the 5-10 minute clips I saw. He was. I mean, it was, the motion was still raw because it was like 2 days after the match, and I want to hear the rest of what he's got to say before I continue to shit on it the way we have, because I know from what I've heard, a lot of it, from what he said, was the only thing I heard him really shit on was, and he wasn't mad at the idea, but when the heel turn, he was fine with it. But the way it was presented to him was he was going to have Travis Scott and The Rock to do this with, and then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, you don't have these guys anymore. And he's kind of, what the hell are we doing then? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So
yeah, old Travis Scott, man, that was fucking wild.
But then I'll still go back to it's weird, because if WWE was still a touring company, they could have done what they did for Tana. Every show in every city, they build it as the last time Tanahashi will be in your town. You have to go see it. The last time. How much money would they have made if they said last time you will ever see John Cena in your town, and they went to every single dot on the map?
Well, that was another thing he actually.
Billions.
That was another thing he actually said. He said when he went and pitched it to him, did they want to do it, or or he would just go ahead and quietly retire? They're like, hell no, we want to do it. And he said the way he presented it was, roughly 200 days. He was going to take the full year off and dedicate it to one full year.
That's a full year,
and to go into all the house shows and everything. They're like, no, that's too much. How about 35? They were the ones that come back with the 30. So there were certain things in there he wanted to do. Most of it, was his way, but there was a few things that.
And then we have the opposite sort of with Tanahashi's last match. I don't know if you guys seen, but there's a video of him. He was during a conference and he gets up to leave. And he got, I wish I had a better phrase for this, but he kind of has a bit of Mick Foley to him. You can see him, as he walks, he's really delicate on his knees. During his last match, he did a high fly flow from the top rope to the floor. Tana, you don't have to do that. We're good. You don't have to do 5 high fly flows, in the match, killing your knees. You could have pulled it back a little. We appreciate it. You went out with a bang, but we always say, slow it down, brother. You don't have to kill yourself. I think he's hurting. He's very.
Oh, I'm sure the career he's had, the matches he's had, but on the flip side of it, when you've had a career like that, or even
26 years, yeah, it's crazy.
Cena's hard. Cena's is hard to say because I was not a fan of that last match either. I mean, I get it, but I didn't like it. But you're not going to go out there and knowing it is your final one and give anything less than what you're able to. Even that you might not be the you from 15 years ago, but you're going to give everything the you now has. And I think that's in everybody's, everybody's DNA that's a performer, whether it's
seeing a 50-year-old man dive is a bit much, but yeah, it's that mentality.
Yeah, I mean, whether you're a rock band or whatever, if you're a performer and you have made up your mind that is going to be it. Tonight is my last hurrah. You're going to go out there and you're going to give it everything you got one last time. And so I get it. And but now that he's retired, he's got all the time in the world to get some surgery or do some yoga, take some salt baths, whatever he needs to do to heal up.
And he's the president, so we're still going to see him on camera. There's one thing I wanted to very quickly say about Wrestle Kingdom is they have Aaron Wolf, who is, if I remember correctly, a gold medal judo champion. The the status of his neck when he won that gold medal, I don't know yet. So we're still sort of looking into
Did he
that.
win it with a broken freaking neck too?
Well, that's what I'm sort of getting to. But anyway, he had his first match against Evil, highly gimmicked, silly match. He looked great. Point of the story is they've been calling it the Olympic Slam. We all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Under the arm, up, bam. And he is adamant. Apparently, I don't know how they do this legally or how this works, but he's dubbing it the Angle Slam. They're calling it the Angle Slam. Like when he does it, they go Angle Slam. Like even the Japanese announcers are calling it the Angle Slam. So it's not a big bit of news like Bullet Club shutting down, but part of me is like, I wonder the legality of that. Do you think it's because Angle's not under WWE? Or because it's his name, you can't you're still open.
Well, you got to remember too. It depends on what they've paid the trademark on. Do they continue the trademark?
It's I was sort of curious because I always thought, oh, Kurt Angle must have some sort of legend contract, right? I
mean, they're doing they're putting figures out of him, so he's doing something with them. And but it's like when when Edge came to AEW, and then a year later he started being able to be called the Rated R Superstar because they let the trademark expire, and he picked it right up.
They do a Last Ride powerbomb in New Japan. They call it Last Ride. The Japanese guys call it Last Ride, but that's just a move name. You know what I mean? That's just what people call it. You can kind of swerve your way through it, but calling it the Angle Slam is a very specific reference. So I wonder. Either way, through the legalities, I love hearing stuff like that. I love hearing Boss Man Slam in Japan, or I love hearing Michinoku Driver in the States because it just makes wrestling feel more worldly and educated. We know all this crazy stuff from all around the world. Look at this wrist lock I learned from Johnny Saint, blah, blah, blah. And it's it just makes wrestling better. You know what I mean?
No, I do. And one of the things that really the Monday Night Wars were great there for a while, but one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Monday Night Wars was it was the first time Vince McMahon ever, admitted there's more wrestling than just the WWF. I mean, because like I said, they'd bring in people that had been wrestling 20 years and call them a new name and act like they were a fucking rookie. But it was the first time he acknowledged that there was other companies out there, and now, of course, they're still doing it. Of course, with TNA,
even just the introduction of Taka Michinoku and Kai and Tai, because wasn't that Dick Togo? Yeah. Guess who's still wrestling to this day? Both Taka Michinoku and Dick Togo. I don't know how mobile Dick Togo is. He's very
he's a little older now, ain't he? Dick Togo.
A bit older. But they're still going. They're still in opening matches, and I think it's wonderful to see stuff like that, where even the CMML guys in AEW, a lot of people are going, Hechicero who? Meanwhile, if you've been watching, they have their CMML tour in New Japan. So if you've seen them over there, you're going, oh, this is going to be great. We've getting little taste of it, but now we're getting a bit more fingers in the dip, if you will.
Well, I mean, Dick Togo's probably slowed down to Nuts Togo by now, but I mean, make that money, man. I ain't mad at you.
Actually, he's got one of my favorite moves of all time right now. He gets his team to pick you up, so you're standing kind of on your head, and they open up your legs, and he gets on the Brett's rope, and he goes, wah! And it's just a chop to the balls, but it's such a fun little built-up spot, and the crowd hate it.
Me chop off your wee-wee. Me chop off your pee-pee.
But hey, it's not a head bump. No one's getting spiked. No one's taking a full bump, and the crowd's pissed. Check. Let's go.
Yeah. There's sometimes I just don't want to ruin the moment for me, but like last night I was watching Dynamite, and the main event was Hobbs and Hook against Hangman and Swerve, and a no holds barred, lights out, whatever you want to call it. And the finish, they had put this damn thing of cinder blocks in the ring, and the finish saw Hangman get Hobbs up there and put him in the dead eye position, and Swerve jump off and do the Swerve stomp on his ass, and they dead eye into the cinder blocks. And in real time, it looked pretty fucking rough. I started to rewind it to see, just to slow it down a little bit and see, make sure, just was he able to protect him? Then I'm like, you know what? He's selling it well. There's nobody running out. I don't want to know. I'm not just, it looked good. We're going to leave it there.
Does anyone else in the match look panicked? Because they can't hide that. When somebody's really hurt, I don't care how good of an athlete or how good of a wrestler are. As a fan, if you're, you have the eyes, you can spot the wrestlers go,
oh shit, yep.
like they're looking at each other, they're looking at the ref, and then you could see a bit of panic, and then they'll go, okay, all right, he's only just blah blah blah. That's fine. We can move on from there. Because we have to, like, if you're down, we have to know if you're paralyzed. If it's like, oh, he broke his arm. Okay, well, he's not dead. Yeah. let's do what we have to.
Yeah, the clusterfuck match of the night for me, Wrestle Kingdom, was TMDK winning what are they? The never open 6-man title. Is that what they call them?
Oh, you know what? I don't blame you. That seems to be an opinion. Like everybody feels like it was normally the Rambo is like a fun little rumble match where you can get pinfalls, you can get submissions, but it's like, let's get a bunch of old people in, let's get some Ring of Honor. Like, where's Cheeseburger? Let's get Cheeseburger. Come on. Like, there's people like that where you can bring in, but that one was like a 3-man team of 6 teams.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one after the other, and I'm like, damn, is this a Royal Rumble, a 6-man? What the hell?
But it wasn't over the top rope elimination, even though it was like a timed entrant. So as a fan, the like conflicting rules, I don't know. If there's time entrance, you can get knocked over the top rope to be eliminated. That's just the way my brain goes, right? Oh, Royal Rumble, easy. But yeah, it wasn't that. So everybody got sort of confused of who was eliminated when and how, and yeah, that was a mess.
And I'll tell you, I was a little surprised. In a way I was, in a way I wasn't, because I really thought that we were going to get, with this ongoing battle with Takeshita and Okada, that they were going to set it up for, an IWGP World Title match between the two of them. And then but then they put it on the young guy. Is that what they wanted to do, or did they feel like that he was not being used as well as he could in AEW, and that's not what they wanted their champion to look like?
From what I'm reading, is Takeshita's a part-timer, so they're treating him like a part-timer. He's got to go AEW and DDT. Okada was brought in as a special deal for just this, like, as far as I know, he was brought in for this one-time big match, and that's all they kind of need it. Though I'm sort of phrasing it that way because if they did anything but put this belt on Yota Tsuji, it would have just been silly. Because this is a guy, like, you need to pull the trigger on one of these young guys. You have to make anything worth it. And a little bit of kayfabe breaking. The next day, he just so happened to have the last generation of the belt ready to go, all shined up. So that weird V belt that everybody's seen recently, they've had for the last couple of years that nobody likes, Yota Tsuji has went, I've gotten the last generation that looks like one of those old US belts where it's kind of like it's got a crown on the top, sort of ish. But yeah, I think that was definitely their plan for the last while, because he had this whole promo about bringing the belt back and the lineage, and I'm going to be this lineage and that lineage. So I think it was just a little bit of kind of moving the cups around, but I think at the end of the day, putting those 2 belts on Tsuji was definitely the right choice.
And this was the first time I'd seen these 4, but El Desperado won the junior heavyweight championship #1 contender 4-way match. What did you think of that one? And
that was one of those ones
how familiar are you with the 4 of these guys?
Oh, very familiar. El Desperado, I feel like Jessie should be somewhat familiar with, because he's fought Jun Kasai. His back is destroyed. Like, his body is very much like at a Sabu level of covered in scars. But this is the one match where I kind of like, as I'm looking through the results, I went, oh yeah, this match. So I don't think I had very many feelings about it. I'll just take the time to put over El Desperado. He's usually arguably one of the top 10 wrestlers. Like, he floats around there. So him being in a match that I don't really remember seems kind of disappointing.
Like I said, and the United Empire defeated the Bullet Club War Dogs. So I didn't even know they were calling them that. But that one was a little weird to me. Paul was talking about his opinions with David Finlay.
So a couple interesting things is their ex was Jake Lee. That doesn't mean much to a lot of people, but Jake Lee's a phenomenal talent. Andrade, I think, is done in New Japan just for now. But yeah, I like that match.
He showed back up last night on Dynamite.
I just like that match because it was a bunch of, I don't want to say big sweaty men because they're all 5'10", 250. So medium sweaty men slapping meat. I just thought they just turn it up for this match. Just start nailing each other. But yeah, that one was one of those weird matches. And then Will Ospreay comes out and does like a face promo, but Callum Newman is like a heel. I think United Empire on the heel side, so I don't know why Will Ospreay's there. But hey, if they're getting more people into these factions and they're defining them better, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, and speaking of Jake, last night on Dynamite, I can't remember what they called him, but Jake something made his debut. Him and Andrade made their Andrade's re-debut. Both are now with the Don Callis family. It's like, are we going to put half the flipping roster with Don Callis? But,
And you know, it's funny. I like big factions because New Japan, everyone's in a faction. It's just the way that they work. It's basically like you're on a team, and each teams will fight each other. But it's like Don Callis, like you got way too many, considering you don't have opposing factions. Like you don't have the elite going, well, our tag teams will fight, and then our heavyweights will fight, and like, what's the point of this massive faction?
Well, the way they did it, just speaking of the elite, it was supposed to be not the Don Callis family, but Ricochet and the who's the two guys he's with?
Oh, Gates of Agony.
Yeah, Gates of Agony. Thank you. It was supposed to be the three of them against Jack Perry and Jet Speed. Well, Jet Speed got attacked by the Callis family in the back, so Jack Perry's got to go it alone. But no, he brings out the Young Bucks, and they beat the Demand. That's what they're called. Well, then here come the Don Callis family running out, and you got, Jake something out there with them, and then a couple of people come in and tried to make the save, and then Andrade, the lights go out, and Andrade reappears, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's add 50 more to the Don Callis family. But yeah, that's where they came from. Then your favorite match from the other night was Suri defeated, was this Kamante? I can't remember the name. That's why I had to bring it up.
Kimate. Is that?
Kimate.
I don't know.
I was close.
So one thing I do like about Japanese names is there's not a lot of like flourishing to it. The Wrestle Kingdom show. Okay. So that was kind of a weird match because I feel like it was the opener, if I remember correctly.
No, well, that 6-man match, was that still in the pre-show or was that the opener?
I think that was the pre-show. I'm kind of double checking it right now, but either way, the point I'm trying to make is they had it really early in the show, and the way Japanese shows are built is you don't have those kind of spikes like American shows do, where it's like exciting, boring, exciting, boring. These girls were kind of pegged right down here, so it was probably a technically good match.
The 6-man was the 6-man Rambo, as they called it, was the first on the main show.
Oh, okay.
The last match on the pre-show was the one we watched with El Phantasmo against Chris Brooks.
I think it was unfortunately placed. I know that sounds funny because it was the women's match, but
yeah, that was a lot. That 6-man was a lot to follow.
It was a one-on-one match early in the card, after a confusing match, before a bunch of are going to be emotional matches. You know what I mean? It just so happened to be slotted in an unfortunate time. I think it was probably a fine match if you take it out of that context. Like if you just watch that one by itself, it'll probably be fine. But I think it's like, yeah, it's that roller coaster of like, okay, we're after the bollocks and we're getting into the good stuff, but we're in this kind of rut right now. Oh, we'll just, we'll power through and it'll get better.
So, besides the Tanahashi match, what was your favorite of the night?
Honestly, that Aaron Wolf match was probably the best match, only because if Jesse's not fully up to date, it's like he's a beginner guy that they've had in the dojo for a while that they've been keeping hush hush. So knowing wrestling logic, he's either garbage or he's amazing. There's no in between. So everybody's just like, please don't be garbage. Please don't be garbage. So they put him in a match that was very basic. Like he did his shine, he does his judo stuff. The House of Torture is like an old Memphis heel group, so it's just bollocks. Like he has to fight off 6 different heels to get to the guy he's fighting. Bing, bang, boom. They make it super basic. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm really into this. And he's kind of a chubby guy, like not dusty chubby, but that halfway, like Kevin Owens sort of. So you're like, this guy could beat the shit out of all these people easily. Like, so it's helping that mentality. So by the end of it, I was like, you know what? He's not crap. So I'm
Yeah, it was confusing for me, but I mean, the six man was my favorite. It was just like one. I'm like, because I was sitting there going, what the hell are they doing? I mean, a lot of action in the ring, and there was just one after the other, and it's hard to keep up with for me, but I did enjoy it. So, all right, before we get out of here, because we are approaching the hour, let's see what happened today in pro wrestling history. See, this is one of my favorite tag teams. It really didn't make a whole lot of noise outside of TNA, but 23 years ago tonight, America's Most Wanted, James Storm and Chris Harris beat the Disciples of the New Church, Brian Lee and Slash, to be the NWA Tag Team Champions. Chris Masters is 43 today. Happy birthday to Masters, Chris Adonis, whatever you want to call him. The original Rey Mysterio was born on this day in 1958. WWE Hall of Famer Bull Nakano turns 58 today. And let's see. Luke Williams of the...
Is that the one that she had her hair stuck up straight?
That was her. Luke Williams of the Sheep Herders, or the Bushwhackers, whatever you want to call them, turned 79 today. Hangman Bobby Jaggers was born on this day in 1948. 42 years ago today, Cowboy Bob Orton and Don Kernodle won the NWA World Tag Team titles in Charlotte. They defeated Dory Funk Jr. and Jimmy Valiant in the finals. The titles have been vacated by Steamboat and Youngblood when Steamboat announced his retirement on Christmas Day. We'll see how long that lasted. Orton and Kernodle would hold the titles until losing them to Wahoo McDaniel and Mark Youngblood. 31 years ago, Double A Arn Anderson beat Johnny B. Bad to win the WCW TV title for a 4th time.
That was a great period of television. Oh my God.
Which part?
Well, that just sort of like era. There was a kind of like weird era where like I want to say it was like early WCW television where they were still like kind of getting their stuff together. Great period of television.
28 years ago tonight, Thunder made its debut. 20 years ago this evening, New Year's Revolution, Edge became the first man to cash in the Money in the Bank contract. 13 years ago today, Alberto Del Rio defeated the Big Show to win the WWE World Heavyweight title in a last man standing match. Yeah, let's see. That
Alberto Del
Rio.
I hear that guy's a piece of work.
Let's see. 5 years ago, SmackDown, a twisted close with the general manager, Adam Pearce, won a gauntlet match to earn a shot at Roman Reigns. I do remember that, actually. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, he did. I forgot exactly how it was, but 32 years ago, Raymond Rougeau welcomed the Quebecers and Johnny Polo to the interview platform. Chris Jericho officially signed with AEW 7 years ago. 30 years ago today on WWE Raw, the Ringmaster, Steve Austin made it.
Steve Austin, baby.
Yep.
I was going to say, can we stop for a second and go back? Because how many people were angry that Chris Jericho was not on Raw, and people had to come out and say he was never promoted to come out on Raw? Like, no one ever said he was going to be there, and people were legit mad.
It's all speculation. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if he was
working the marks, baby.
Yep, and I wasn't surprised that he was
him. Do you think Chris Jericho was like, they don't say my name enough? Chris Jericho possibly leaving? Like, make a couple Reddit posts, tell Dave Meltzer. All of a sudden, your name's in the news, and hey, turns out he was in a movie, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, at this point, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in AEW to debut at the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's Jericho, so I mean,
Hey, I like it could go either way for me. I don't, it's like not my horse, not my race in that sense.
Now,
but like,
in my opinion, unless they have strong creative plans in AEW, I think the best thing for him to do would be a year run, kind of a bye-bye tour in WWE and take his Hall of Fame induction, because that's what made him who he is. It damn sure wasn't the WCW run by any stretch of the imagination. And the only reason he made the impact that he did for AEW signing 7 years ago was because of what he did in the WWE. But
hey, and Chris Jericho has led a lot of this stuff. Like he was one of the first people to go, recently to go, hey, I'm going to go back to Japan and reestablish myself. He was one of the first huge stars to say, I'm putting my foot in with AEW. Like he sort of has been a leader for certain industry things. So if he were to go back to WWE and like put kind of like the influence of like, hey, you should make it easier for people to kind of come back and forth, that would be amazing. Because then people could get their flowers in both companies. Like a Sting, he's WWE Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't sure, so I was kind of using him as the example of
he's under the equivalent of a Legends deal with AEW now.
If you can have him in the AEW Hall of Fame and the WWE Hall of Fame and not make it weird.
Well, he's also in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm just like you trying to say like that'll help wrestling.
Yeah,
when you're closed off and you're not talking, like hearing that WWE has zero conversation about Nakamura going to Japan was kind of disappointing. But
I think Nakamura wanted to go, AJ wanted to go.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying it was probably just someone going, why call? It's going to be a no. You know what I mean? That's the way I think they viewed it as why bother?
Yeah. The only time that I've heard anybody defend WWE was, I guess it's about 2 years ago when TNA wanted to put AJ in the Hall of Fame, and they were told no, and everybody just assumed it was the company. And AJ come out and he goes, no, I was the one that said I wasn't interested. Damn it, I don't want to be in anybody's Hall of Fame until I'm done. I don't want to. And that was right after Ray had got inducted.
I feel like that might be a sports stigma thing. Like, don't be in the Hall of Fame because you're not retired.
Well, he goes, I'm not taking a shot at Ray. I love Ray. He said that's his thing. He said, me personally, don't ask me about a Hall of Fame until I'm done, till my boots are hung up. So
no, I could totally see that being like do you ever hear? I think it's hockey. You're not allowed to touch the trophy until you win it. It's bad luck to touch it if you're like. So you can only touch it if you've just won it. So I hear a lot of people are like that. They have weird sort of. Because why not? Go get paid.
And I don't know why this is the thing, but the last thing in history today is 30 years ago tonight on Nitro, Sting beat DDP by submission. Okay.
Talk about another like great period of wrestling. That WCW. I was a kid during that period. That was a bloody great. Sting's on fire, DDP's on fire, the crowd's going absolutely donkey balls nuts for any of it.
But so we got January 17th coming up for Jesse, and then February one more time, Paul.
28th, I believe.
So are you ever gonna get us any Jesse keeps putting up some YouTube videos. We need to see Pretty Paul in action.
So I made the mistake of I thought, oh, there's lots of cameras around. I'll get the footage from the booker.
Yeah, no, and then they're like, "Yeah, brother, it's coming out in like 4 months."
Yeah, so I made the mistake of trusting that because they had a lot of guys. I didn't set up my phone with the tripod, so that's one of those like first match, first lesson. Yeah, you know what I mean. Protect yourself. That's
even if you're working with somebody that you know will send you footage the next day. If you're taping it from your phone or getting a buddy to tape it from their phone, you have the great edit option. For whatever you might want to put some Paul's spin on, you know what I mean?
And here's a tip for people who are getting in the business. If you record a match for somebody, don't send it through Messenger. Don't put it on Google Drive, put it on whatever you use. Dropbox is a thing. There's lots of different options.
If you got Apple devices, use AirDrop.
But you're taking a video
put that shit on YouTube
megabytes.
in a private link and send it to them.
There you go. It's so easy. because I don't know how many times I've I guess I've been in 2 Rumbles, and both times they feel like, yeah, I got you your footage, and it's a 20-minute video that's 10 megabytes. And if you expand it, you can count the pixels on the screen. So if you record matches, save it to a Google Drive, send the link to the wrestler. Oh my God, it's so helpful, that one little small thing.
So does New Japan have anything else coming up that we need to check out and
okay,
be able to review?
This is the one thing I like about New Japan. So they had their big WrestleMania, they had the Wrestle Kingdom, the Raw after Wrestle Kingdom. They have nothing for the next month. So I don't think we have anything in the calendar until like the 20th, around there. So I appreciate New Japan in that sense, because they go, we're done.
Well,
everybody go take 3 weeks off.
CMLL or something like that you'd like us to check out.
CMLL, I don't know what's going on with them. I would recommend, if people are trying new things, this is a blind recommend. Stardom just had their big arena show. I've heard good things. I don't know all the information, but it's like, if you're looking, if you're exploring, check it out, because that's the one thing. If I have 5 hours, I'm probably popping that on just to see what's going on.
Well, I will tell you, as far as watch-alongs, Jesse, I'm not sure what you're doing next week, but we are going to watch along with the brand new episode debut of TNA on AMC next week. It's going to be 9 to 11. Next Thursday is when they premiere, so we'll probably jump on here about 8:30, 8:45 to talk about what we might see, anything we've heard, anybody that might debut, any rumors that we've heard, to see what might happen. But TNA's show on AMC debuts, and we are planning to watch along next Thursday, so we'd love to have you back. If check it out, Jesse's on YouTube, all kinds of links. You want to go see the Deathmatch Daddy whoop some ass. He's gonna try some glass on the fist, see how that goes.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think we're gonna do a Taipei death match, but we'll see what happens.
I want to say they used glue. That's all I can remember about that match. I want to say it wasn't tape. I thought it was glue. They dipped it in and then the glass, but I could be wrong.
We'll see.
I saw somebody do like reverse duct tape on their hand one time and then stick it in the glass. I did see that.
That was
that's probably what I'm gonna go for.
I can't remember who it was, but I might have been on AEW. It might have been Moxley.
My brain was like, go get a crappy pair of Muay Thai gloves. You know what I mean? Like, decorate them so you can take them off and take them on. I'd be worried about taping glass to my hand, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I've never done one of these. I've heard it's a very interesting stipulation. I've heard it can be either really easy or really painful. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and if what's the best place for anybody who wants to catch Wrestle Kingdom, Paul, that they can catch it on?
Legally, NewJapanWorld.com. That's their WWE network. So if you're ever, hey, how do I catch New Japan World? There are other sources, but you didn't hear that from me.
Gotcha.
Or Stephanie McMahon. You didn't hear from her either.
I don't know what a VPN is, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Jesse, we appreciate you coming on here and provide the update. We wish you well on January 17th.
Happy to hear that you're better, man.
Anything that you put out there, if I see it, I'll do my best to share on our page for everybody to check you out. And
thank you guys.
Training with 500,000 Hindu squats per day. How many you done this week, Paul? You said you were off.
Nothing, man. It's been a lazy week. I have to get back in that mentality, but it's ups and downs.
Well, go do the Rocky and go do it in your 3-degree weather. You'll be all right.
That's not a bad idea. Actually.
Any final thoughts there, Jesse, before we head out of here?
Well, no, not really. I'm about to go get drunk, y'all.
Paul, what about you? Anything before we come back next week?
Everybody, just enjoy wrestling for the week. Stop arguing about stupid things and just put on something and go, that's awesome. You're awesome for watching it with me. Thanks, everybody, for enjoying wrestling.
Exactly.
That's all I want.
Because starting next week, and with football season being over, we will literally have it just about 7 days a week again, because we now get a Thursday network show that everybody can get. Thursday, January the 15th, 9 to 11. Total nonstop action is once again on TV where everybody can see it. And that's what we're going to do next week. So for Jesse, for Paul, my name is Jason. We'll see you next